we ain't gotta push that out. If Beyonce's in town, we ain't gotta push that out. But if Botham Jean gets shot on his own property by a white policeman off duty and there's nothing to happen, everyone's telling that story and we get lost in the sauce. But if we're the ones where people were to call and go, hey, y'all heard about this? Yeah, what's going on? Even if we're like, hey, we're still figuring it out, but we'll let you know. That's better than a week later, hey, this happened. And I think we've all, especially in Dallas, I think we've all gotten better at using our social, using our web presence, using our e-blast, and like Cheryl has the iMessenger, which is a great tool of getting that out. It's just that our community isn't used to seeing us in all these places. I know people don't look for Dallas Weekly on Facebook. I know that they usually see it on somebody else's thing because we'll do something about the lovely April Cantrell, and we'll put that out, and she'll share it, and in her community, her, and they'll be like that. But it's not like people go, let me go to Dallas Weekly to see what they've posted, that maybe something there is worth it. Now that's a problem that is our industry, our community, our marketplace problem. Because people aren't used to going to see us there. People aren't used to hearing us on Twitter. People aren't used to going to YouTube to go, I'm going to YouTube specifically for, and that's not just an us problem, like WFAA has that issue. It's like, yeah, I'm not used to going to YouTube to go see Channel 8 News. I do it because I'm a YouTube person, but the average person's waiting to see the show. And if they miss it, they're reading about it on Facebook the next day. Like, I saw it. So everybody has that issue. So I believe some of it's time. Some of it's just actively getting out into the streets and being grassroots. Like we have to go backwards to go forward. For us, we do. Not backwards as mean mentality, but we have to go back to the roots. We have to make this important. Why? How is this important? Simple. We have 9 sections. If it's auto dealership, we have to make a concerted effort that there are some black-owned autos. They need to be in here. They need to know that it's important for us to be in here. Now I know it's like being in a one-sided relationship, but I believe that if you show them the love, and that's just a theory, there's got to be some reciprocity because we know what happens when we put something here. People respond. If we do what we're doing now, it's like, you're not just in here, man, you're online, you're on social. You get response. With the restaurants we're doing now, we do a Taste of the City. We'll come to your place and do just what we're live stream you. That's not important? You get that? Yep. Well, now, how about you give me some money for advertising? Oh, yeah. Didn't that happen? That's not, that happened. I'm going to come and do this. Now pay me. I see the value. Now we're partners. You got to prove it to our people. And I know it's not fair. It's not. But it's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't immediately go to marry somebody. You have to date them for a while. You know what I'm saying? You gotta prove that you're the type of person. Even if you look like them, you come from you go to the same church, they don't know you. And that's what our community's done to us. It's like, well, y'all got highfalutin and y'all got all these advertisers, y'all met. Okay, well, we're back. How do we know? Look, we're gonna take you out. We're gonna show you a good time. And it's, you ain't gonna pay for nothing. Okay, so the next time it's like, did you like that? Yeah. Okay. Did you like those chips? Well, you got to get those chips now. Well, I like the chips, so I'm going to get the chips. Fine. You get the chips, I'll get the salsa. Now we're building a partnership, but it's going to take a little effort on our end. It's going to take a little effort on the comedians, but I believe the community will respond when they see stories that affects them specifically. Everybody's different now. Everybody in this room has different likes and interests. So the April Cantrell story might not matter to him, but the Botham Jean might. But if we ain't doing it all, we miss him. And we just got to be able to do that. And even if it means, call Cheryl's paper. Hey, y'all had a story we didn't. Can we rerun it? Can we put it on our site? The unity of Can we just do it? Yeah. Or no. If it's no because it's proprietary or somebody paid for it, that's fine. Right. But if it's just like, hey, I'm just trying to get, or can we get that? Yeah, we can get it. Because I don't have any content. Please let us all get the content because we're all selling differently. Right. That's how we make our money. Like you want to talk about how we make our money differently. We all use the same content. You think we all didn't have Botham Jean? Yes, we did. We all have different ads though, because we all have different and especially in this town. Which I don't like, but it is something that happened. I believe that in black media, we only need maybe 2 or 3 voices. I think everybody should work to the voices. Everybody should work together to help the voice. The brands will change as they have. We'll have papers rise, papers fall, media outlets rise, media outlets fall, but the mission's always the same. So let's say that there's this intersectionalist and this HOTEP thing. There's 2. Well, now we got the final call because that goes into a section that is not represented in totality by these 2. Well, that's 3. Is there a Christian thing over here? Because that's just church stuff. So, but let's not step on each other's toes. Let's make sure that we can all move in the market in the way we need to without taking money out of our pockets. Because what will happen is, which does happen, let's say it's Mr. White business owner who has a bunch of business, construction or something has bids. Well, I'm going to do this. Well, I've got about X amount of dollars. I'm going to spend it with them. You don't get it, you don't get it, and you don't. And it's like, but you still want the black community. Yeah, but I want the ones that I like. It's like, well, if there's only 2 or 3, then you don't get a choice. You don't get 8 different things that like these. You're paying into the black market. And what we don't have, which the mainstream does have, is you're not paying to the Dallas Weekly. You're not paying to the Final Call. You're not paying to the Texas Metro Journal. What you're doing, you're saying, here is black press marketing firm. You pay them. And they go and say, I need your $1 million, I need your $20 million deals. And I go, hey, Dallas Weekly, how much is your full page ad? Okay, I'm gonna get you 3 of them. Hey, Final Call, how much is your full page? You know, not to say y'all would do that, but you know what I'm saying? But if you break it out so that everybody gets a piece.
Yes.
We used to have that.
Unit.
We used to have that. We used to have an entity that would go around to the Coca-Colas and the AT&Ts and say, I can aggregate 200 markets of press. They didn't have to say black. After that, you're talking numbers. I got 200 markets serving 20 million people. I'm hitting 30 million people a week. They don't care if you're black at that point. But if the entity isn't there representing you as the black community, they don't care. Because like I said, we get money right now from big buys from non-black entities. They're going, we're looking for 1 million people in Dallas. Your website gets X amount, you get that. They don't care what our genre is, our niche. And that's where advertising is going. We need to elevate ourselves to that level as well. Not to say we need to go after non-black owned businesses. We do need to go after black owned businesses. But for black owned businesses, we still need that effort. We need someone to go out and say, hey, black owned business, 1, I know you're not educated about the market because we got the stats. 1, your advertising dollars are tax deductible. They are tax deductible. You
can write them off, yes.
You can write them off, which means if you spend $100 a month, $25 a week with a black-owned media outlet, by the next year you can spend $2,400 without doing anything. By that next year you can spend $3,600 without doing anything. So after 5 years of partnering with a black-owned business, you will have a $6,000 marketing budget and never have to pay for it.
And everybody needs marketing.
Everybody needs marketing.
Saying, oh, it's just going to get out there magically. It's not going to happen.
We believe in the word of mouth like Jesus, man. We believe that, my chicken's good. People going to come.
Right. So let us help you with that, and let Texas Metro News. All of us, we all can eat, and we're helping you. We're going to go to questions.
Sorry,
any questions? Oh, no, sir. No, sir. Any questions?
Yeah, there's one, and I guess this involves the Final Call as well as
yes, sir.
The Dallas Weekly. You mentioned the being a weekly, which the Final Call is also, and how do you get news if news happens in the middle of the week, and the fact that you don't publish, but once, how do you deal with that?
Well, for us, for the paper print, we almost exalt the printed product above everything else. So everything that has to go in there has to be something people need to hear. And that can be something that may have happened. For example, this Botham John thing is, if we talked about it 2 weeks from now, it's still important. But it's the way we do it. And the way we've kind of figured it out is those people who pick up a weekly paper now are not concerned with you beating the Dallas Morning News. They're concerned with us representing our own community with our own voice.
Right,
so
come on now.
We're still speaking, and Color People Time is a little late anyway. So what they also believe we're doing, which is true, is we're not just going, this happened at this time, at this date, with no context. Because you say a person got shot in their apartment in Dallas, Texas at night, that's just a simple story. That is true, all facts.
Yes.
But when you say a off-duty white female cop shoots an unarmed black man, upstanding citizen, in his own home with no provocation, we've added that conversation to a larger conversation which has context that we have had to talk to a few people, do some history, do some research, benefit the doubt stuff, call the police, like, y'all want to say something?
Yes, sir.
And then we're saying, hey community, here's our take, here are the facts, here's our take, here's what you should be looking out for in the future. So that kind of helps us. What also helps us is that web. Because if we can't do it now, we have e-blast, we have social, we have web presence, it will be seen. And we can push it out to our greatest ability so that it's the most it can be seen. And then maybe figure out a way to frame the story so it can fit into a print narrative. That's kind of, it's the long and the short.
To echo that, everything that he's saying, right and exact, I bear witness to it. And this man right here, through great mentorship, has told me, okay, every week, doing this Botham John situation, this tragedy, Brother Richard, this is going on. I'm calling him, I'm letting him know this is going on because, he's like, we need continuous coverage of what's going on there in Dallas. And he's like, well, okay, so that's going on, so what about this and what about that? And it's about, and he always say, remember, we're coming out after everyone has heard about this. What is our perspective going to be that people need to know along with the facts? Not just, you know, telling the facts as Patrick said, etc. You know, so it's about our perspective. They're getting the Dallas Weekly's perspective, which, as he said, is the black voice. They're getting the Final Call's perspective, which is a black voice. It's bold, it's there, etc. So that's what they're picking this up for. You know, when we did our cover, or You Safe in DISD, a little girl was on the cover with her hand was broken by the DISD police, and that was one of our biggest covers. Asking, is your child safe at school?
And let me chime in. This is that. On that story too, I ride transportation around.